What's up, everybody? Super excited for another session of Creators One-on-One. Today, I have Ruben here from I'm the T-Shirt Buddy, and we're gonna talk about how to bet on yourself, when it is time to start your business, all about DTF, all right, and so much more. So stay tuned and make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that bell, all right? Going into the video right now.
Yeah, so in coming here, I finally can speak to OmniPrint. Not just you guys seeing him on my live, which we go live quite often. I'm actually here and I'm seeing everything firsthand. And let me tell you, it's an incredible process from the moment I walk through the door. So much product, so much knowledge, and amazing people that work hand in hand with you, man. I'm impressed.
We got a great team here. When it comes to doing stuff, like, you can't do it alone, right? So
Right.
They're part of my proudest thing that I think that I'm always working on.
Yeah.
Making sure I have the best people and then bringing better people to do it, right? So I love that. Guys, make sure that if you have questions for Ruben, put it on the comments, all right? We're also gonna link his handles there. Also subscribe, all right? Subscribe, comment, hit the bell. Make sure you follow and subscribe to Ruben's channel also. I want to have a cool conversation. Maybe first of all, tell us about yourself. What got you into the T-shirt game, and we'll start there.
Yeah, so obviously, like everybody else during COVID, being laid off from my job, I had to get into something that, one, was immediate. Two, I was one of the people that was affected by the unemployment thing not happening. It didn't come for a long time. So I knew I had to get into something really quick. And because I'm in the music business, merch and music go hand in hand.
Yep.
So I've been pressing shirts since as long as I can remember, maybe 10, 11 years old, where we would go to Kmart and buy the little sticker or the not vinyl, but the stickery ones you can iron on. I've been doing shirts for a long time. But again, so I had invested with a friend of mine somewhere around 2000 or something on a screen printing business. But I was always on the road doing shows, and so he handled a lot of that. So I was hands-on when I did come back. So through the years pressing, I knew that when COVID hit, and oddly enough, I didn't want to start my own T-shirt printing business. I wanted to have my own clothing line.
Yeah.
I reached out to every friend that I know, anyone who was printing clothes, and not one single person wanted to help, and the ones that did want to help, it was like you wanted to charge me an arm and a leg during COVID. And so
that's okay. The homie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the homie price was not homie nice, let me tell you. And so I thought to myself, okay, and I don't recommend everybody do this. This is just me. I'm one of them guys where, like, if I believe in something, I'm going all in. I always bet on myself. And so I said, okay, I have X amount of money in my savings. I have a couple credit cards. What's the worst that can happen during COVID, right? So maybe I'll get some credit card forgiveness at some point if this can't get paid back, excuse me. And so I maxed out my cards. I used my savings, and I bought, I think it was like a white toner. I bought anything I can get my hands on, I bought myself. And I taught myself everything I needed to know. And because I was in music, as I was pressing merch, one of my best friends, his name is Stressmatic, and he's from a group called, off the top of my head, the Federation. And so I pressed a shirt for him. We took his dog and put a gold grill or something on his dog and a gold chain. And then I put his music in the background. And so being in the music industry, immediately all of my friends and people were like, can I get some shirts from you for you to play my single in the background of your videos? So they were calling me the T-shirt DJ for a while. So I said, okay, this might work. And then I looked around the industry, not to take away from it, but I knew immediately that there was nothing else like what I was doing or wanted to do. So I used that to grow. I used the groups I was in, whether it was music. I'm a former boxer, so I knew, let me go ask my former coach, if they need merch. So I'm pressing for gyms, and it just caught on for me. A lot of companies started to reach out. I didn't think I was ready yet, and coming from the music business, I'm like, I'm gonna do this independently. So if one or two companies reaches out, that lets me know I'm doing something, that's catching attention. So let me just drag this out a little bit longer. And if in a year from now it's still working, then we'll connect with these companies. And but in the process, I met you early on, a bunch of people. So it's been a blessing to my business because it's helped me grow and scale it, And so now I'm full time, the T-shirt buddy and content, But I think I'm trying to get away from pressing shirts all the time to get out and do more things like this to show that I'm just a kid from Vallejo. We don't have a lot of opportunity in Vallejo, unless you're a musician, some sports figure or something. But I want to show that you can take whatever little dream and turn it into something, and to be able to come out here, and sit with people who've come from the same thing, maybe not the identical walk of life, but very similar, to see what he has grown. That's even more inspiration. That's what I want to give to the people that watch my platform, is that value.
I love that. I love that. One of the things I did like, I still do, is that you're documenting the journey.
Yes.
And that's number one. I think if there's a takeaway from his story, all right, he got in a circumstance, all right, like a lot of people did during COVID, layoffs, boom, immediately, and it's coming again with the recession and all that.
Yeah.
So you decide to take control of your income, take control of your life, and start doing your own stuff, trying it out. But in the process, you're marketing by telling your story during, right? You're telling your story during. And like right now that you're doing your brands, you're printing, like how are you doing it? What technology are you using? Like tell us about your flow and what, like how do you run your printing right now?
Yeah, well, I count my blessings. I think I'm one of the lucky guys, I would say, is I don't run a lot of ads. My Instagram, YouTube, and things like that's about as far
the documentation of what you've been doing.
Yeah, and in that documentation, that's what's brought in all this business, and it doesn't stop. It's every day. It's every day for me. And I think the more that I, because you got some guys that get on there and say, well, my name is so and so and so, and this is what I'm using, and my link's in the description, and go buy whatever else. That's not me. I'm not the sales guy. I'm showing you this is the machine that I'm using to get this done. If you need any help, DM me, or if I do have a link, you're more than welcome to ask me questions or go to that link and buy whatever you want to buy. But I think in being authentic and just telling my truth and documenting, like you said, my journey, that's brought these people, and I think it's turned into like a word of mouth though too.
Yeah, so it's like the new style word of mouth. So a lot of people reach out and they're like, hey, how do I do paid media and paid marketing and all that? Guys, the main way you want to do this is be on social media that's free at the beginning, document everything, and you have no idea. Go to the insights and look at all the views, look at all the eyeballs, right? Those are free eyeballs that at some point is going to need your product. So
you'd be surprised. And at the same time too is, you don't need any fancy equipment. This is beautiful. I do want this. But if you're growing, that's the reason you have a smartphone. People just choose to do dumb things with a smartphone where I'm gonna use it to my advantage. Every bit of it, and everything is content. Turn that thing on and talk.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. And you use it. Don't let it use you. Right?
Yeah, like people spend so much time scrolling. I don't scroll through Instagram unless it's one of my friends, like you guys or somebody, and I see it at the top. I'm liking and whatever else. But I'm one of those. I'm so strict on myself that I don't spend time scrolling. If I'm going to, it's gotta be at the top. But I'm spending time pushing something that I'm trying to talk about. Good.
Stop scrolling. Start marketing.
Start marketing.
Stop scrolling. Start marketing, guys.
There you go. Yeah, he pinned that. That's it.
I love that. I love it. So how are you doing your print jobs right now? What technology are you using to print?
Yeah, so I'm still using the white toner.
Yeah.
I still get, believe it or not, I get calls for transfers, a lot of pocket hits and things like that, which is what the white toner I think is mainly good for. I do outsource a lot. So coming from the DTF world, I'm not the first, I'm not the original, but I want to say during the time that I got onto DTF in the 2018 to 2019, I can only recall one guy, and that was Brother Ernest. I'm not sure if you've seen Brother Ernest. That is the DTF like king to me. And he was the one guy who talked about it, and I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. And then one of my friends picked up a machine, and back in 2018, 2019, the powders, it was horrible.
Yeah.
You know, but today, of course, you know, we've grown that. So I outsource the DTF transfers, or you know, I'm with companies such as like Supercolor and even Transfer Express.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll order transfers out, but I want to get to the point now because I've been involved in DTF for so long. There's nothing like being in-house. So
Yeah.
I'm moving to try to get my own here shortly.
Yeah. So you're looking at, all right, you're building a customer base that's ordering, but you want to, like, why do you want to bring that in? Like, you want to like get your own DTF printer and start doing it yourself. Like, why do you want to take that back in?
When you have value, when you have a customer base, when you know that if you have the right tools in your hands, you can do something amazing with it. That's where I'm at. Is I love to help people. I love to help other people grow like they've helped me. But I have given so much of business to help others grow, which is like I said, perfectly fine. But now, what if I kept that in house?
Yeah.
Because one thing I'm like, this is loyalty
Yep.
again, right? So I'm so loyal to a fault where you know it's got to make sense, right? And so if I'm outsourcing, you know, not only am I mean, I'm losing money there because I got to pay for the transfer, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I got to charge them whatever it is. But I mean, it's just I don't want to lose anymore. So if I had my own, of course it's generating more income. But I just want to bet on myself.
I love
everything
that.
I do.
Yep. Bet on yourself and cut the middleman out.
It hurts to hear, but it's true, you know. But yeah, and then when it comes to branding, you know, like I said, doing you know my own sublimation paper and blanks there's no better feeling than seeing your name or your logo on something and saying like that's mine. I created that.
Yeah.
You know, like OmniPrint, this is yours.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
So when someone buys an OmniPrint, it's like, oh damn, that's my machine. You know, and that's what I want. That feeling of like, I did it. I put my name on there. I invested, and now someone else is using my product. You know.
Yeah, I love that. You know, when you see like I'll give you an example for me. When I see people that are like new millionaires that are making it and they're using our stuff, right? You see people that are doing it from home. Maybe they're not millionaires, but now they have a nice living.
Right.
You know, making a ton of money, and they're doing it from home with their family, right? So there's a ton of pride on that. But you know, one thing I want to recommend that is a good takeaway, guys, is and Ruben did it. I would rather you guys start outsourcing if you have no idea how to sell it, who to sell it to, and all that.
Right.
And not invest in the equipment
Right.
until you have some sort of print jobs that are going, right?
Right.
And then boom, it's a no-brainer. You could say, hey, I did X amount of orders this month. I gave away X amount of money,
Right.
and that could be my payment.
Right. Right.
You know, so I love that. So a lot of these small things I want to take away from these talks and give it over to you guys, because I don't want you to miss stuff that's key where you guys can win, right? So that's a good takeaway. Where do you want to take your business moving forward? Like, I know you want to get your own DTF printer. Like, what's like your big, like, what's my mission? What's next?
My mission has been the same from the beginning. I've shared it, and I see a couple people, I think they're starting to do it, is, again, it all goes back to where I'm from, right? Growing up in Vallejo, not having the opportunities, we don't have anything like this there.
Tell me about it. Yep.
Right? And so there's never an end goal for me. As long as I'm alive, I'm going to think of something new to do, right? But one of the biggest things I want to do before I ever leave this earth is I want to bring back to where I'm from, to my community. And you know, what if it's a building like this where I can bring in a bunch of heat presses and a bunch of just equipment and teach other people, you know, give other people opportunity and say, look, like the t-shirt business, you know, as long as there's a human walking on this earth, they're going to need some type of apparel, right? Which means that, you know, what if I can help them start a business? You know, what if we can have classes? But what would you say would be for someone that is starting out, someone that doesn't have the financial means? Where should they start? You know, do they jump right into a DTG, a DTF machine? You know, how do they begin to scale their business?
Yeah, I love that question. All right, so I'm gonna attack it in a couple of ways, right? Number one, it doesn't matter if it's this business or you know, DTF, DTG machine, whatever, right? The number one thing you gotta start with when you start a business is commitment, right? That's the number one thing, because a lot of people say I'm gonna start something until they gotta get up and work, right? Until they gotta get up and actually call customers and like get doors slammed in their face,
Right.
Right. So commitment is number one, and then also vision, all right. That's why I ask you about vision, right? Where you visualize you want to take it,
Right.
because a lot of the times you have two types of people: people that jump the gun without any of it, and then you have people that never do anything because they're constantly thinking about how it won't work, right? But this is where the rubber meets the road. You got to do the work, right? So that's foundational. You got to start there. And then when it comes to like, how do you start with no money? It just so turns out that, you know, I came here 6'7" from Mexico, no English. You know, my parents had many kids. I'm part of 6, right?
I got you beat.
Yeah. So let's just say there was no little piggy bank for your college or business ventures, right? So you gotta hustle. You gotta start from that. But the first thing that somebody could do is like figure out what you can sell.
Right.
Right. What you can sell.
That's good.
How much you can sell it for. Right. And then what's left in between.
Right.
And then from there you repeat what works. To go from 0 and turn it into something. I'll give you an example. My great grandma, she was working in a family restaurant, and I would walk there after school, and she's like, "Hey, there's a bag of pennies up by where all the graveyard of Corona signs and old banners and all this stuff. It's all up there in the attic. Nobody wants to go there. It's a mess full of rats and all sorts of stuff. But there's a bag of pennies in there from the change stuff. You find it, it's yours." I'm like, "Oh, it's a treasure, dude." I was like, I don't know, 12, 13 at the time. And sure enough, I go up there, it's nasty. I pull it out. It's like a little big bag of pennies. Like, I got to the bag. There was $14 worth of pennies, all right? The first thing we did is, then she took me down to Thrifty's in Santa Ana. And I bought gums, cigarettes, all these things to put in the checkout area of the restaurant. And every time somebody would pay the bill, they started buying a gum, buy some cigarettes. They buy a lot of that because I guess people that smoke, they got to smoke after they eat, right? So it was perfect. The 10-pack was $13 back then. So, it'd probably be like illegal now, but whatever. But this is what I noticed, all right? And this is this long-winded story so you guys can see where you can go from 0 to something. Like all of a sudden I had the money back, right? And there wasn't no longer pennies, right? Because that checker at Thrifty's had to count all the pennies as I bought all the stuff, right?
He's
so
giving you bills back.
I got bills back. And one thing interesting that I noticed, and I only thought back recently, and some other thing that I didn't go YOLO and spend it.
Right.
I went back and I bought some more stuff.
Yeah. That's what you do.
And then I did it again.
Right.
And then I did it again. And that was like my first few bucks. And then I'm like, dude, like I like having my own money. I'll work for it. I'll get a skill. I'll get a craft.
Right.
And that's how you start, right? And then you can invest. So that's kind of how somebody could do it right now.
Right.
And it could be as simple as that.
Are we oversaturated, or are we not?
Nothing's oversaturated.
Because people ask that all the time.
Yeah.
It's oversaturated. I don't think it's over. I think the people that weren't meant to be here in the first place are just kind of weeding themselves out. Those of us who really are turning this into a career are the ones that are staying. So I don't think oversaturated either. But some people say that now. It's oversaturated.
Well, when you don't have commitment, you have excuses, right?
Ooh.
When you don't have commitment, you have excuses.
That part.
Oh.
Say that for the folks even louder.
Right.
Look out in the back. Wow. Yeah. Amen to that. And two, like, how long did it take to get here?
Oh, dude, it's a mission, right? So yeah, this looks great,
Right.
but like the first machine I ever sold, right? I hadn't even built it yet,
Yeah.
right? It was a no, serious. It was like
Wait.
I
You
had
said the first machine he ever sold, he hadn't even built it yet.
Yep. And it was like somebody had to believe,
Right.
right? It was on the office that I borrowed, and there's a table there, nice sturdy table, right,
Right.
where a machine could go.
Right.
And I was like, hey, the machine could go right here. It's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. All I need is for you to buy it, so that I can get the like parts, and then I could get it, like make it, and then deliver
Right.
it, right?
Right.
So I did that. So I did that, and then I did it over again, and I did it over again, and supported those people. I did the sales, support, product, everything,
Right.
right? Marketing, janitorial.
Yeah. You were the one.
Right,
one
yep.
Van.
Put in the next hat, right? So that's how you go. And then you're disciplined, and then you don't go get the Lambo, right? And then you put it back in,
Right.
and then you
We
do it
didn't
again.
get the
you do it
Lambo.
again.
But now you send me stuff when he's like on a yacht or something somewhere, and I'm still like,
Hey,
I'm in a baby pool in my apartment complex. He's on a yacht somewhere, you know. I'm gonna get a yacht. This baby pool thing is kind of getting old.
Dude, I'm also 41, right? So it's like, let's just say I started early.
Yeah.
But you go and you do that, and then you invest in people that help you.
Right.
They also want to win, and then you do that over and over again. So I would say, like, my overnight success took about 15 years. So always be ready for a solid 10
Yeah. Yeah.
on anything you commit to.
Right.
If you want to get big. Our vision is to have $1 billion organization with 3,000 team members, helping millions of creators out there. That's
Right.
our quantifiable vision, right?
Right.
Our 10-year vision. So it's big, but we'll get there by having that commitment, right? So and then just being diligent and reinvesting every year, new technology, marketing, everything, doing this kind of stuff.
Right. Well, I, as a DTF guy, I was up here specifically for this DTF machine. Let me tell you, if you guys see the content somewhere, you will see this thing is the truth. But, excuse me, why your DTF machine, brother, versus anyone else out there doing a DTF machine?
Ooh, yeah. So I'm a recovering engineer, right? So
Well, I thought you said recovering something else.
I'm all
I can't help you there.
I'm all about specs and features and the highest quality stuff, right? So I know we're good there, right? Because I always want to develop stuff that brings people more value, right? Why do you want to get our stuff, right? You want to get our stuff because you're going to have more leverage to be able to sell and make more money with it. Oh yeah, that sounds like very markety, right?
Right.
But what does that mean? It means that I want you to have the best feeling transfer, right? A print area that will help you grow and scale. Doesn't matter if you're starting or you're already pro, right? Quality, chemistry quality, right? There's a lot of different reasons why you should go with us when it comes to the equipment. But then on top of that, you have education and then long-term support. We've been here, 17, 18 years now, supporting people. There's a lot of people with the original machine still running, right? So, like, there's a lot of fly-by-night stuff, guys. And the reality is, everybody's a salesman. Everybody's an importer. Everybody's they got the latest stuff, bringing it in.
Right.
But when it's time to support it and actually see it work, and then have staff, people, operations, long-term committed to that, you can't duplicate it. You can't duplicate it overnight. It takes time.
One thing that I do want to say too is that I'm one of them guys, like, I won't study.
What do you think about the results? Like, would you recommend it to others?
I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it because, I mean, if you're really trying to get something professional, right? I know who I press for. If you've been on my Instagram and things like that, I press for some very important people, especially in the music industry, right? And I cannot at all deliver anything that's less than high quality. This is definitely that. Like I told you, I've ran into people who have been, doing DTFs forever, and I can send them some artwork that, we've paid hundreds of dollars to create. We know it's an SVG, we know it's vector, we know it's every file that you want. And when I get that transfer back, I don't know how it lost color. I don't know how it looks like it's muddy. That's not the case here. So if you want something professional, which I treat everything as though it is, because that's what it is, this is that machine to get. Sure, there's plenty of other machines, right? But you get what you pay for is probably the biggest thing, and you're going to get what you pay for here.
Dude, I love that. Thank you for that. And how much did I pay you to say that?
Man, water.
Water. Yeah, I did give you
water.
All right, dude, those are great questions. The value that you get in these kind of talks and shows is so that you guys can take it and work with it. All right. So, as we wrap it up, Ruben, like where can people like sign up for your stuff? Where can they reach you? Like what's your @
My ats, obviously, Instagram is I'm the T-shirt buddy. YouTube, I think it's the same thing. Actually, it's I'm the T-shirt buddy. Those are my two biggest platforms. You can follow me on Facebook as well, but it's under my full name, which is Ruben Oriol Rivera. I'll have to spell it for you or something because I get it wrong sometimes. But I'm a humongous Instagram head. That's my home. That's what works for me.
Love it.
And that's where you can definitely find me.
Dude, awesome, guys. Well, there you have it. Another session of Creators One-on-One. We went over how to start your business, mindset. All right, a lot of questions that came up. So make sure you guys, again, comment, all right, subscribe, follow Ruben.
Thank you.
You guys will see the links in the description, all right? We do this to empower you guys to grow, and stay tuned to the next Creators One-on-One. Let's go.
Let's go.